There will be spoilers ahead. Lots of spoilers, so be careful, won't you?
Max, we gotta be careful. The entity is listening. Always listening. Sure, it was fun at first, making a robot pony just in case anything ever happens to our dear Bumpy, but then, when it came alive, it became sentient and started taking over the net. TV, movies, podcasts, Creplock. Well, where does it end?
Creplock.
So far, the only thing that seems to keep the evil AI away is running. So you gotta keep up, Max. You gotta. I won't leave you here to die. The entity is right behind us. Always behind us. A vicious taskmaster. It will shape our worlds, mold our critiques, touch us in ways we'd rather not be touched. And here it comes. I don't know if I can resist anymore. Too tired. Can't run. It's forcing me to say it. I don't want to. No, I won't. You can't make me say it's Max Mike Movies. Oh no, it's all in fun. We'd never replace Bumpy the Wonder Pony with an AI. There's so little work for ponies as it is. What we will do is give more movies a second chance with our series, Give Me One More Chance. This week, we're giving Tom Cruise another chance. Well, him and his film Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, anyway. Helping us out in this quest for clarity is Max Stop Running Levine. Drop us a line, Max.
Can't feel my legs.
Can I feel your legs?
Spinning. Dying now must kill you.
Commander! And I am the second host, always silver to his gold. Mike, my feet fell off again. Loose. Together we do this show, but we can't do it without you, as our next segment will illustrate.
But we can. There's just really no point.
Poll question.
Last week's question regarded monsters. You like them big or small? First up was Nick Hoffman with, quote, "Definitely the smaller ones for me. The big ones are more fun than scary for me. My favorite monster is still the creature from The Thing. Honestly, Mike, the scariest movie I've ever seen was Jacob's Ladder. The monster was abstract, but it freaked me out to the point I've been unable to watch it again." End quote. Ooh, those are good ones. And he means the Carpenter Thing, not the 50s one I asked. So, thanks, Nick.
Okay.
Did you ever see Jacob's Ladder?
I think so.
I always get it confused.
I don't know what's real. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I saw it. It's just very strange.
I think I always get it confused with the one where the people, there's a bunch of college students who all try to die, but not quite
Flatliners.
die. That one, yeah. I get it confused with that. For no good reason, unless Tim Robbins is in both of them, which case...
He is not. You're confusing him with Kiefer Sutherland, of all people.
Is he in both of them?
No.
Ah, that's why I confuse them together, because Kiefer Sutherland is not in both of them. Okay.
Oh, sure that... Huh?
Our favorite man of letters, and what letters, Adam Mark wrote, quote, "As a lawyer, I proudly say, it depends. Depends on the execution, writing, and special effects. The giant monster of Cloverfield 2008 is menacing because the film had a vision. The monster is only seen through the eyes of the camcorder carried by the protagonist, and you don't know which way this is all going to go. The monster in Godzilla 1998 with Matthew Broderick is an embarrassment. The whole film is a transparent, let's make money off the sheep. Oops, people who come to see it. Corny dialogue, show-off special effects that evoke no emotions or reactions, etc. Worst $9 I ever spent. Overall, I prefer larger monsters to smaller," end quote. As a lawyer, I bet he isn't fond of dinosaurs. Thanks, Adam. Tyler Stewart's answer was, quote, "I was going to say, why not both with Cloverfield? It wasn't until the megalice, for lack of a better term, showed up that I took the danger to the characters seriously," end quote. Well, see our entire episode on Cloverfield. Thanks, Tyler. Dr. Rebecca Pelkey, who knows a thing or two about monsters, sent, quote, "Definitely smaller under-the-bed monsters for two reasons. First, there's enough mystery still in the dark especially that monsters can still be imagined easily, so even if you've never experienced one, it could be somewhere. Hiding. Max, behind
It's on your shoulder!
On the other hand, if there were giant city killers, we'd probably know, so it's not as plausible. Secondly, there are plenty of human-sized monsters to fear, and those are much, much scarier than a big lizard, end quote. Well, she does have a point. Thanks,
That is
Michael.
true.
Dave, whose name is Dave, whose name is its own theme song, posted, quote, I get scared by stories about real people and the things they do. The first movie monster that ever frightened me was The Witch in Snow White. See, I think it was Adam Mark's answer from last week.
Yep.
Cape Fear, the 1990s version, scared me, as well it should. More recently, I was creeped out and scared by Jeffrey Dahmer in the Dahmer series on Netflix. I have not watched Missing, the Lucy Blackman case, but the book I read about it, People Who Eat Darkness, was absolutely terrifying. The man who was found innocent in her case was scary as heck. Watch your language, Dave.
Dave, really?
Big monster movies, Jaws, Godzilla, Alien. Alien's a big monster? Not particularly scary. Really? I'm going to disagree with you on the Alien, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Small monster movies, can't really think of one. Like a bug or a disease? Hard to build dramatic tension with a monster like that. Quarantine vaccines and spraying are the kinds of cures for tiny scary things, and they don't make for a good movie. Dolls can be creepy, yes. I guess they are small. Supernatural horror can be scary. Ringu comes to mind, end quote. Ah, don't say that word!
He was my favorite Beatle.
No. Thanks, Dave. Thank you, Max. Without giving a specific example, Roland Hardy said, quote, definitely under the bed, end quote. Oh, there must be some interesting dreams in there somewhere. Thanks, Roland. Over at the site, we have Vince, who, insert Canada and Penguin references here. Oops. Seems I didn't get around to that part. Well, wag. Vince offered us this. Quote, I love giant monster... What?
Give me some fish.
Yes, here, have a fish. Fine.
Thank you. I, as a penguin, enjoy fish.
Great. Why don't you go and enjoy it over there?
Okay.
Because right now I have to quote Vince, who said, quote, I love giant monster movies, but seldom find them scary. Cloverfield, The Host, and Godzilla -1 are pretty scary, though. More human-scale monsters can exist in our homes, look us in the eye, jump out of nowhere at any time, while giant monsters likely wouldn't even notice us. A film that can use that indifference to us and our inability to defend ourselves in any way against an immovable force of nature and still make us feel that danger, personally, is quite the feat, end quote. Wow. It's an angle I would not have seen on my own. Thanks, Vince.
Intriguing.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily the monster, it's literal not knowing we're here and just throwing stuff around and screaming and, it's hard to fight that.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like we have a caller in here just under the deadline.
You're on the air.
It's our dear friend Doris. Well, let's hear what she has to say.
Oh, hello there. This is Doris Hempelmeyer again. You know, Max, I just have to tell you, you have such a very interesting voice. I get lulled every time I hear it. You really send me. Anyway, I am answering your poll question about monsters. And you wanted to know, you and that other guy, Mike, I think is his name. Yeah, 'cause Mike Max movie. Anyway, you wanted to know if it was scarier for me to have big monsters that are chasing everybody in the city, or if the scarier ones were the little ones that hid under your bed or, stuck on your face. I think I saw that one in the drive-in once. Anyway, I think the little ones is much, much scarier, because the big ones, you can go hide in a subway or something and miss everything. They never see you. But the little ones under your bed, that's a one-on-one kind of thing, and that's pretty darn scary. So that's what I am going with. Once again, thank you so much for being on my airwaves with Max Mike Movies. I am such a fan, and I can't wait for the next episode. This is Doris Hempelmeyer signing off for now. Bye.
Seems she prefers Max. Well, everyone.
Thank you, honey.
Everyone has their opinions, and that's certainly one of them. Thank you, Miss Templemeyer, for your continued support of Max and the show. We're just kidding, of course.
But mostly me.
Yeah, I'm sure. Wow.
Thanks, baby cakes.
Hey, Max, could you pull back? I can't see your whole head now. It's swelled from those comments.
Oh, silence, you second banana.
I love bananas. Anyway, no, thank you for your calls. We really do enjoy the calls.
We do.
But what about you, Max? You like them big and stupid? Or do you like them small and smart?
Well, this wasn't so much about what we like, it's what we find is scarier. And I always have found the small monsters that can sneak up on you. And by the way, Dave, I got to completely disagree with Dave. Bugs and diseases can, in fact, be terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, go see Contagion or Infection.
Or painful rectal itch.
Zombie movies, I don't know, those are sort of medium-sized monsters, man-sized monsters. But yeah, anything that... To me, the face hugger in Alien is scarier than the xenomorph.
It does seem to be... I think it's because of the prolonged not knowing.
Yeah.
And the inability to get it off. Like it's...
And also, it can hide like anywhere. That's the thing that always gets me, is the fact that the monster could be anywhere in your house. Let's face it, Godzilla is not going to be trying to jimmy open your door or, you know, you're not usually going to get, Candygram.
Well, I've seen you fall for that.
Yeah, but fool me once, shame on me. Fool me 11 times, shame on me again.
11 times.
Yeah, the giant monsters, they can be scary, but they're scary as they're sort of a natural disaster. I mean, as the great man said, whenever you have a hurricane, an earthquake, a volcano, or a Godzilla.
Great man. That was Raymond Burr.
Hey, he was pretty great. He took up most of the screen.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you're going to go with small.
Yeah, I go with the small. What about you?
Well, Vince brought up a really good point, and big has to be handled with care, such as Godzilla -1. Godzilla -1 is one of the first times I've seen Godzilla just really go, the heck with this, kill, destroy, walk, and just not give a crap, and actually seem kind of angry, because there's nothing worse than a giant monster who's angry. When we talked about Cloverfield, we talked about, or you had some trivia that suggested that it was... separation anxiety that was causing the issue, that it was a baby monster and it was sad because it didn't have its mommy and daddy monster.
That was one theory, yeah.
But that's still sort of fear and anger and stuff. So I think that those things, you look at those and as the average person, it's like, literally, what are you going to do? Yeah. You can run, and that's not going to last long because all they have to do is lurch. So if it's done right, the big ones, I think, feel a little bit more unstoppable. But the small ones, especially ones that get in you, like the scarabs and the mummy, or that earworm thing in Wrath of Khan, once it's inside you, then what? You've got, usually no recourse. That's it, you're gone. Or if it's really fast, you get eaten. Eaten. So it can go either way. It really depends, like Adam Marks said, on how you handle it. So, but in general, I'm going to say the smaller ones actually produce fear more than the bigger ones. That's my feeling. But
yeah.
Monster, who's got the monster? Well, not us. We have another poll question. Yeah, those metaphors are really starting to hurt. So we'd like to know, what is your favorite performance by Tom Cruise? Or do you think he doesn't have one? Let us know. We'd love to hear them answers. Answers what we love to hear. Bite they little... No, never mind. Next up, though, we're going to hear the backsides of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Ooh, the butt. The facts.
Budget, or budget. $291 million. Or
Good
$219 million because COVID. And what I mean by that is there was actually, of course, an insurance policy against production stopping, and initially the insurance company said, "Oh yeah, we're not paying for that. Here, have $4 million." And they're like, worldwide pandemic, give us a lot of money. And they had to sue and eventually got like $70-80 million back. So take $567 million, which is mostly a hit.
Well, it's not the 3 times rule.
Not quite, no.
It still baffles me where $500 million is not a colossal success.
Well, we pointed out that it depends how much you spent.
Yeah.
You got to spend money to make... Okay. Yeah, COVID. That was a major factor in the making of this film, causing delays and increasing the budget, making this the most expensive film of Tom Cruise's career. There was even a point where Tom had to purchase an old cruise ship for the infected to isolate on. He just happened to...
The infected? There were zombies?
They had COVID. Anyway, COVID is also likely the reason that Venice and Rome look so navigable, which we'll get back to.
Yeah.
Speaking of COVID, and we will be, apparently Mr. Cruise was very strict with COVID guidelines and was seen screaming at the crew twice for breaking rules, such as standing less than 6 feet apart. Some of the footage did make it to the net, though most defended Cruise for trying to keep people safe and, well, keep costs down. Let's be fair. This is the longest film in the franchise thus far, beating out the next longest by 16 minutes, or longer if you count the eventual Part 2. This one's 2 3/4 hours long, longer if watching at home. Tom Cruise was 61 when this film came out, which is 4 years older than John Voight was when the first film in this franchise came out. Yeah. It's been a long run. We're already 27 years into this franchise. 27 years.
That's like almost 10 times as long as the actual show lasted.
Yeah, it lasted, I think, 7 seasons. It actually had a pretty good run. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the most successful of the Desilu shows in its initial run. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Speaking of waiting, this film was delayed not only in production, but release by 2 years. It was originally supposed to be released in 2021, but COVID and releases of other films continued to bump it, which does nothing to explain where Part 2 is. Yeah. You won't believe this, Camp, but BMW paid a lot of money to get their cars into this film. Amazing!
No. Yeah, I'm stunned. How much did Fiat pay?
Yeah, not as much. So you might be wondering about the opening credits and how they feel more like a spoiler-packed trailer than credits.
Yeah.
Well, that's meant to be the villain in this movie, the AI thingy, corrupting our perceptions by showing us all this stuff and including shots that aren't actually in the film. So that was clever.
But it's so fast you can't tell what they are. How dumb is this program?
Clever. Yeah. This film
We're dealing with Clippy, aren't we?
I see you're trying to make a major motion picture. Would you like some help? This film had a lot of competition when it came out, and as such, had a huge drop-off of profits starting its second week. Because of competition from Barbie, Oppenheimer, and Sound of Freedom? Don't know that one.
Sound of what?
Don't know that last one.
Don't know that.
Let's see. Let's take a look. True story about some good guys taking out some human traffickers. Yeah. So yeah, people went to see that instead of Mission Impossible. Well, it did make $250 million.
Wow.
Weird. Put pocket. That's a word, isn't it? Well, not yet officially, but it's putting into somebody's pocket as opposed to picking it out.
Oh.
They do actually use it in the film.
Yeah.
But it doesn't originate from this film. The term was first used in an episode of Taxi by Latka Gravis, so there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You might be wondering why the accents of the Russian subcrew were so different from each other. Turns out they weren't professional actors, but people chosen because of how they looked. Because that works.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sure.
The director literally wanted people we would look at and then feel bad for when they died. Spoiler. Yeah.
Okay.
Whether they can do Russian accent or not does not matter. Looking for moose and squirrel under the ice. Whatever. So, yeah. The character of Paris, played by Palm Clementif, I assume it's Teef, but...
It's Clementif, yeah.
Was a little, too exciting. Seems that whenever she was on screen, the director found people were looking at her instead of... other places, so her part was trimmed. Yeah.
Oh.
Nice, huh?
Yeah.
You're too good. We need people looking at Tom, so sorry.
They're not wrong. She is great to look at.
Well, and also I didn't even recognize her as Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy, but her moves and stuff, apparently she was quite the powerhouse on the set, and people Even the crew just like watching her beat stuff up. But of course they killed her. So spoilers. Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. Sometimes time is timely. The airport bomb's timer starts at 5 minutes, and exactly 5 minutes of screen time passes before it doesn't blow up.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that actually is Tom Cruise jumping the motorcycle off the cliff in Norway. I mean, Austria. So let's give a nice clap for Tom. Yeah. And in case you're wondering, part 2 is coming out next May. It was supposed to be out this past June. Unless, Max, you have anything else, we'll get to the story, shall we?
I got nothing.
Okay. So there's this Russian sub that blows up and Tom Cruise runs a lot at the end. Okay, no.
Yeah, okay, so moving on.
No.
Oh, I don't know. You covered most of the salient points, really.
I know, but we really should, in case people don't want to see the film or don't remember. There's this Russian stealth sub, and it's tooling about under the ice in the Arctic when it gets a target on its scopes. Well,
wait. I saw this. This was the Hunt for Red October.
No, it's Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Okay.
Right.
Anyway,
right.
It gets a target on its scopes. Well, cool. We can try out this nifty stealth. Oh, wait. We're seen and fired upon. Whoa. We gotta. Hey, wait. There was no torpedo, and that sub, it's gone. But our torpedo. Oh no! Kaboom! And the real villain of this film sits back and laughs.
Strokes a white digital cat.
That might have been interesting. Seems this is an evil AI called the Entity, because stuff and reasons. So only Ethan Hunt and his IMF team can take it out. But that means they're going to go rogue, because the U.S. government wants to control it, and so does everybody else. But rogue! No! Well, yes. So they go looking for this key, a literal key that was originally on the Russian sub, but which somehow can take control of the evil AI that's twitching its digital eye all over the world. So, sure, they go to Abu Dhabi. So, sure, they go to Abu Dhabi and seek it out, and there's a lot of running. Then they go to Rome to get the key, and there's a lot of running. Venice. Running. Finally, they get the 2 parts of the key in one place and use some of their IMF foo to get an operative into place. See,
Is there running?
A little bit.
Okay.
See, they not only want the key, they want to follow the person who gets the key because they don't even know what it unlocks, just that it will somehow give the user the ability to control the AI, which the AI doesn't want. So it's hired someone from Ethan Hunt's past, someone very important and deadly who hasn't shown up in the franchise before, but shut up. He's totally important and meaningful. Grace, a thief who originally got half the key but had no idea what she was really caught up in, is convinced by Hunt to not only join their side, but join the IMF team, which she does, sealing a deal with Kittredge, Hunt's handler. But things go awry on a train where the key deal is to be finalized. There's a lot of running and a fight atop a moving train, something we've never seen before. Some explosions and shooting, and, well, we'll just have to wait and see how this turns out because we still don't know. The end.
The film. Yeah, okay, I guess there were a few details in there that mattered.
Sure. But now, Max, this is a little different because you did not see this when it came out, did you?
I did not. This is my first time.
Now, have you seen others or all of the others in the Impossible Mission franchising? Super
Impossible Mission
candy-like
oeuvre? I have seen, I think, 2.
Okay.
I saw the first one, and I think I saw Ghost Protocol, and those are the only ones I have any memory of. So, yeah.
Well, okay. Well, what was your memory of those?
The first one I liked. I thought the first one was kind of fun, and Simon Pegg was fun in the later one.
Yeah.
That's it, pretty much. I don't even remember what Ghost Protocol was about. It's whichever the one where he's trying to scale the tallest building in
which is exactly.
Is it Dubai?
No, I think
or
it's
Abu
Taiwan.
Dhabi again.
I think that's the only thing I remember about it either.
It had to be an Arab country because of the
there's
sandstorm.
a ghost in it.
Is there?
No.
I didn't think so. I think there's a protocol, though.
Yes, it's the one with the protocol in it. Yeah.
I mean, I mainly remember, Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames.
Yeah.
They're in it. They're cool.
For a minute.
And I don't remember much of the rest of it.
Well, luckily they've had a number, because I think that was number 4. So they've had a number of films to get this right. So let's see. I did see it when it came out. And
you did?
Yes. The only reason I went is because, once again, we had a power outage. I think we saw 3 films at power outage. I think I saw this, Indiana Jones and the timey-wimey wibbly-wobbly.
Wibbly-wobbly, yeah.
And I saw Barbie. I liked one of those films.
Yeah.
Anyway.
See our episodes on all of those films.
Yeah, it's funny how 2 of them showed up in this series.
Yeah, funny that.
I think I also saw Astro City then, too, which I also liked.
Oh, okay.
We didn't do that one, but we talked about it. So
yeah.
Let's talk about the cast. So we have Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of Tom in this film?
He's as good as he has ever been in these films.
Very kind of you, yes.
Thank you.
He's very Tom Cruise.
He's starting to look a little strange, I think. There's something about his face.
You thought so too, huh?
Yeah.
One of my first
I
notes.
don't know. I honestly don't know if it's because he's had work done or he hasn't had work done.
Oh, he's had work done.
Because his skin is looking like it's like they've been winching it behind his ears.
I couldn't help but think he kind of looked a little like he's had some AI applied to him.
I wondered, yeah.
And his hair color's not helping either.
No, it's not convincing. Haley Atwell, I'll watch in just about anything. She's awesome.
Now, she played Agent Carter?
She played... she was Agent Carter, later Captain Carter. She's done a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, she's fun when she gets to do anything.
Yes, she does not get to... Mostly... She's a little bit of an audience surrogate in that she's sort of like, I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, welcome to the club.
I mean, there is sort of a thing that whenever she's on screen, the expository dialogue, shall we say, flows like wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fine, I guess, but she doesn't have much to do. And a lot of it seems, quite honestly, semi-subservient to Tom Cruise's character. Now, that being said, she does get away from him a couple of times, and I appreciated that. Mm-hmm. And I think that what she's given, she does quite well. It's just she's not given... It's not her film, it's Tom's film, let's face it.
No,
and then she gets...
It's Tom's film, we all just live in it.
Now, here's the question, though. She's joined the IMF. Is that for keeps, or does she die in the second film? I guess we'll find out next May.
I don't know. Yeah.
Ving Rhames is certainly there.
Ving Rhames, I always like the idea that this is supposed to be a computer geek, a super hacker, who also looks like he could break you over his knee.
Yeah.
I like that. That's very counter the cliche. It's counter the stereotype, and that is all there appears to be to his character. He gets nothing.
No. In fact, he leaves the film early.
Yeah.
And apparently where he picks up is going to be picked up exactly there in the second film.
Okay. I mean, they're obviously trying to get some sort of comic riff going between him and Simon Pegg. It's just, I don't think either of them really knows how to work off the other.
Well, I think neither is a straight man. And that's a problem. And you're not going to make Simon Pegg a straight man because that's not what he's good at. He's the funny guy. And Ving Rhames is the funny guy. So we've got 2 clowns under... a bigger clown. Oops.
Simon Pegg's character is mostly, oh dear, I'm so upset. He's basically Ving Rhames with a massive anxiety disorder.
And British.
Scottish, yeah.
Oh, is he supposed to be Scottish in this?
I think, I don't know. Simon Pegg is, so.
I know, but he never plays Scots.
Yeah. First he did. He was Scotty.
Oh, that's right. They never will hire somebody who's actually Scottish to play that role. At least Chekhov got a Russian. And here's the thing. I enjoy them both. My feeling is both of them are like, yeah, we'll film for 2 weeks and take $1 million, no problem. And that's it, because they're not given anything to do. I mean, even in the old show, you would sit there and watch Mr. Phelps go through the NPCs until he pulled out the actors that he was going to use, and they'd all get to do something. Greg Morris's part wasn't exactly huge, and Peter Lupus, honestly, the less you let him talk, the better.
Yeah.
But they still had a part to do, and that feels like all they're doing. Oh, you can do this thing over here. We're not going to let you do any of the cool, fun stuff. The closest we get is Simon Pegg gets to chase a suitcase.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so. We have Rebecca Ferguson as Ilsa Faust, She-Wolf of the SS.
She-Wolf of the SS, yeah, saw that coming.
Yeah. She's fine.
Again, also not given very much to do.
No, she's very actiony.
Yeah, there's all this idea of, there's so much backstory, and they've got this relationship, because she's in at least one of the other movies, maybe two, I don't know.
Is she? I didn't even know.
Yeah, she is. I think might have been in Ghost Protocol, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But, yeah, she's fine, and she's friggin' gorgeous to look at.
Honestly, that whole backstory part, the part that includes Isai Morales as Gabriel, felt like they totally... Like, I don't think he's existed before this film.
I don't think so. Yeah, Isai Morales, all I could think is, look, here's, evil Sam Elliott.
I guess I actually felt more like, I'm the most interesting man in the world. And he's fine. He's slippery. I think it was wise not to get him too physically entangled with Hunt. I think that's not where except for the stupid train fight.
He does have the final fight with him, yeah.
But other than that, he's mostly slipping in and out, which I think is a much better use of the character. They don't show anything, but my guess is he's got a little earpiece or something and the AI's telling him what to do.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. Well, I skipped over Vanessa Kirby as the White Widow.
Yeah.
I like the idea of her.
Vanessa Kirby, first off, everything she does, you cannot look away from her.
Yeah.
She has real charisma, and quite honestly, they could just show close-up of her eyes, and I would be like, this is the greatest movie ever.
Yeah. Eyes.
No, seriously, she's got an amazing face.
Yeah, Max notices her eyes.
But she also, this is kind of a waste of her. Again, she's a returning character, apparently.
Yeah.
Not from one of the ones I didn't see. And she plays this nice kind of, cheerfully evil gang boss. The kind of sort of not quite villain, not quite hero.
Well, she's the evil M, right?
Yeah, kind of. And she's the one I wanted to know more about. It's like, okay, Tom, go away and let's follow the White Widow for a while.
Actually, she's a little young, but man, I would love to see her as M. Oh, that would be cool.
She is a little young, but yeah, she would be an amazing M.
She would be one of those people that you're like, oh, yeah, she's a push. Oh, dear God, she's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hey, people are making Bond. Give her a couple of years, but consider her. I think she would be awesome.
Sure.
Especially with that black woman from, I can't remember the character's name that shot James Bond in Skyfall.
Oh, yeah. The new 007, basically.
Let her be 007 and let this person be M. I would see those till the end of time, but yeah. And then Pomme Clementif, who plays Paris because she's French. Apparently.
You can't fire me. I'm French.
Oh, she has a point.
What point?
How should I know? My head hurts. That's Kids in the Hall.
That's a sort of deeper.
Yeah. I hate to say this, but I kind of agree with the director. Whenever she's on the screen, you are looking at her. You are not looking at anybody else, including Tom, which I don't know if he had anything to say about that or not, but she's very, to be honest, she's very Harley Quinn.
A little, except less crazy. She's more like, you're thinking of the blotch of white makeup on her face, I assume. Yeah,
but also the way she's dressed. Like, I think visually she's meant to be that kind of character. I don't think her performance leads that way. I do think that every time she's in a fight and doing action-y things, I believe that. Except when she gets her head smacked into the wall and then doesn't even have a bruise. But Yeah.
No, she's got terrific physical presence, great physicality. She's terrific as an action fighter. Yep.
Yeah. Henry Czerny as Kittredge, who has not been in one of these films for quite some time. I think it was 7 years or something like that, or 7 films. I think he goes back to like the second film. He hasn't shown up. He's fine. I guess he's a villain.
He's there.
Because he plays the handler for the IMF, who apparently can tell the president to get stuffed. I'm not telling you anything. But he also wants to control the AI, so I can't quite tell if he's supposed to be a good guy or a bad guy.
Well, that's part of the ethos of this whole series. Like, are there good guys or bad guys or whatever?
Oh, no, that's Ethan.
Oh, excuse me.
It's a name.
Except for Ethan, who is pure and holy, a holy, blameless creature. Yes.
Like trains.
Like a cow. Yep.
And then we have some other people. Carrie Elwes, who's almost unrecognizable as Denlinger.
Yeah.
Who I don't even know. Is he the president? I don't know who he is.
No, he is the chief of the intelligence services, a position which I don't believe actually exists.
Ah. Frederick Schmidt is Zola. Shea Wingham is Briggs, you know. Yeah, there's people in this.
Tarzan is Degas.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's his middle name, Greg Tarzan Davis.
So it is. I actually liked him. Well, I mean, okay, I thought he was very handsome, so yes, I was paying attention to him when he was running around doing things.
There were a couple of moments where you get, oh, he's the new kid.
Well, because he questions it, right? His character actually goes, I don't think anybody should control this AI. This is not a good idea. And it's literally the only voice of reason in this entire film.
The only rational person in this movie. Like, this is a bad idea.
So, I mean, if he ended up joining IMF, I wouldn't be disappointed. I think that actually might be kind of cool. But quite honestly, I think he's really just an NPC. So, yeah. So, nobody's bad.
No, the cast is fine.
But
the cast doesn't really matter when you get down to it. This isn't an actor's movie.
Max, how can you say that? There's actors in it.
I've got about 6 or 7 others to prove it.
Okay.
Yes, there are actors in it. They just don't have to do much acting. It's, to paraphrase my favorite year, it's running and jumping and fighting and humping, minus the humping.
Yeah. Yeah, funny that. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, there's no sex in this. No. There's no sex at all. There's even a kiss.
There's a point near the end where Grace turns to Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt, and says, I love you for reasons. It's like, okay. I mean, she doesn't actually say that, but you can tell it's implied. But it is weird that there aren't any sex scenes in this spy movie. I mean, what kind of spy doesn't have sex with everybody? I mean, that's the point.
Well, I assume it's they never slow down long enough for that.
Oh, yes, there is all that. That's right. He's tired out from all the running.
Yeah,
there is a lot of running.
Running is his version of sex, yes.
Quite honestly, you probably could remake this film with nearly anybody, and it would be fine. There's not really... It's not like when you're playing Bond, there has to be something about your performance. There was something wonderfully animalistic about Daniel Craig. He wasn't as smart as some of the previous Bonds, but he had cunning, and he had strength, and he was fast. And he also, you could tell, kind of was lacking some of the morals of some of the Bonds. And I thought Daniel Craig brought all of that to bear. There was even a few actual vulnerable moments, which does not happen very often.
You get the same thing, I think, with Sean Connery. It's not so much the physical, the animalistic, but the suaveness, but at the core, this absolute heart of ice.
Yeah.
This coldness that goes through him. And that really was acting. Roger Moore, you have a little bit of the sort of English dandy almost.
I was thinking mashed potatoes.
Okay.
Or marshmallows.
And, with George Lazenby. Anyway, and you got Pierce Brosnan, who...
Pierce Brosnan, I think, was meant
Bond has to be memorable. Now, you got to have someone with intensity for Ethan Hunt, and Cruise does that. Thing is, there are a lot of guys who can do the intensity, and you're also not as worried about them breaking a hip while they're doing things.
Now, to be fair, I'm sure he's in very good shape for his age.
No, obviously he is.
I just am like, again, with his looking at his face, because I'm staring at it. There's something.
Yeah.
It's like it's not reacting the way it should. There's just something off. And part of it is, I'm sure, him trying not to look as old as he is. And that's a shame. Like, dude, you're probably aging well. Why not just do that? Okay, then we wouldn't have agents that age in the Force. Why does your part have to be always the running and the jumping and the flying and the hiding? Like, couldn't you also evolve the character the way that you're evolving? That might be more interesting.
Also, there's no reason they wouldn't have older agents. The IMF doesn't care. They're not like, oh, he might get hurt or we might get sued. It's like, no, we'll use them until they're dead.
Yeah.
I have no problem believing that's exactly what they do. As long as he's alive and functional, we'll make use of him. Yeah. And I think they could lean into that a little bit, except then they'd have to tone down some of the stunts, except he can still do them.
Well, and there's the thing.
The guy is our age, for God's sake.
I know, he is now,
He still looks amazing.
The problem I have is that I don't want to see him do them anymore. I'm tired of them. For one thing, Max and I hereby decree no more train top fights ever.
That's enough already.
Oh, dear God,
We've seen it. Come on, put up more bus top fights or fights on top of a pedicab or something.
Just stop the whole thing.
No more trains.
We've
Come on.
seen them and we're tired of them. There's nothing you're bringing to this that's going to, and I'm also tired of there being no repercussions from fights. It's one of the things I love about Indy Jones, especially Raiders of the Lost Ark, is he gets hurt. He gets hit by that big bald guy and he falls down. He's like, oh, yeah, these things shouldn't matter. There is literally like no gambit in these films because we know what's going to happen. It's Tom Cruise. Is he going to make the jump? Of course he is.
Maybe he will have, and I think he does have a small cut on his lip.
Oh, you're telling me he kirks his way through this film?
He kirks it way through. So, by the way, does Palm Clementif, after he bashes her head in against the wall and hits her repeatedly, she has one very small mark at the corner of her mouth.
Wait, no, wait. I'm pretty sure there was a moment of...
But yes, we look stars.
Please, I there needs to be some sort of payment for all this stuff because otherwise everyone's fine and we don't.
Otherwise, there's no stakes.
No,
there's no real tension.
Except the MacGuffin because then I'm going to lose the MacGuffin to the thing with the stuff. It's like okay, and we sit there and okay. There's this villain, I guess, and it's an AI, I guess. And I think they said something, it was started by FedEx's delivery program or something. Fudgy Whale, Cookie Puss, I don't know.
It's an evil AI. It's like, oh, that's timely, okay.
Yeah, and it's doing evil things because...
it's Skynetting itself into the world, basically. Well, but I'm taking over the intelligence... I'm going to control information and take over the intelligence communities, which is going to benefit me. I guess we find out in the second movie.
I guess, except here's the thing. It's a computer that can get itself into anywhere, including a submarine in the middle of nowhere, and do whatever it wants with that information. I'm going to go with, movie's over. Now what?
Yeah, pretty.
Because they sit there and they try to make computer-free zones. Let's see. No. Now, to be fair, Venice, you might have a shot. There are parts of Venice that probably still aren't wired for cable. But that being said, they show people, it's like, oh, we're using CRTs. Yeah, there's computer chips in those. I'm sorry. Unless you actually dragged them out of the 50s. No, that entire wall of TVs, there's computer chips in there somewhere. And if there's a computer chip, apparently this AI can get into it. And then they show people...
Even if it's not networked, apparently it can just sort of leap through the air.
Well, then they deploy typists, which, okay, that's... Yeah, and who's going to collate this? Because, no. I just... We don't define the villain. All it is occasionally is a big eyeball looking around like I had too much caffeine, and it does things like corrupt. There's literally no point in this film where they're using any of their equipment that it should matter. Like none of it should work.
One of the things I noticed, the resemblance of the graphic they use for the AI and the Eye of Sauron are pretty close, except the Eye of Sauron is red and orange, and the AI is blue, which made me think of a bit from Star Trek Lower Decks, where there's an evil computer.
Oh, yeah.
And it has a glowing red eye. And it says, no, at one point it's trying to convince everyone that it's turned good. It's like, no, I'm good now. Look. Boop. And it turns its eye blue.
Yeah.
It's like, well, his eye is blue. Maybe we should give him another chance.
Literally, the first thing that the computer could do when it found out there was an IMF is just, like, make everybody... put them on the message boards of every law enforcement in the world, make sure that everyone can find them, turn off all their communications, which it sort of kind of does later on. Basically destroys all the satellites because it could. It just it's too fast. It even, like, Ving Rhames' character is like, I can't keep up. No, you can't.
Yeah.
So
this thing literally is working at orders of magnitude greater speed than you. Yeah. It's if it's as powerful as they say, and the fact is, this AI is essentially magic.
Excuse me, I believe that it is a super magic computer villain, TM.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is designed by people who didn't really want to find out what the capabilities of an AI are or what it could really do, and just said, we're going to take Skynet but make it information-based instead of nuclear weapons. Ha ha ha!
Yeah, I left this out of the trivia, but apparently our beloved president got to see an early cut of this film and got freaked out, and which is why that he proposed AI limitations to Congress, and there's this law that doesn't do anything. But yeah, because AI is scary, and AI is scary, and it is doing some very, I personally think, damaging things to us as a people and a culture. But the thing is that without motivation, it's not even a MacGuffin. It's not even a presence. It's literally, I guess, an animated plot complication. Whenever we need to have the heroes stopped or stymied in some way, we'll just bring up the I, and now you can't do that because I say so. Yeah,
we do hear from it once when it's pretending to be Simon Pegg's character, pretending to be Benji Dunn.
Yeah.
And talks to Tom Cruise on his earpiece.
Yeah. Okay.
And still doesn't really tell us much about it.
I mean,
other than it has a weird-ass sense of humor. At one point, Simon Pegg is trying to disarm a nuclear bomb. That's his big moment.
Yeah.
And it's been set on a cryptex wheel.
Because
like the thing out of the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
And he figures out it's part of his name.
And who made it? Who made that?
Yeah, who actually built that for it?
And who brought it to the airport?
Well, you get the idea that it could control various agents. The thing, they even say it could control people because it has all of their secrets. So it could blackmail pretty much anybody it wanted to.
I guess.
To a degree. I mean, it's like, okay, do what I say or I'm going to post all the pictures of Taylor Swift you have on your Facebook feed.
Yeah, or cat videos.
Okay, so it's like, oh, okay, so either I get a little embarrassed or I commit treason.
Yeah. To be fair, some people would probably do that, especially if it was literally you'll do this or I'll expose you as somebody who loves Taylor Swift. You must take this piece of luggage to the airport.
Yeah, that's true. If it doesn't seem, people might talk themselves into it. But,
and that's the sad thing is that if you had made this some kind of character, there could be some really cool, very subtle things that people all over the world are doing for it that they don't even know and wouldn't raise any flags. I think it's sort of the way that the people were supposed to be with The Shadow in that Alec Baldwin film. There were supposed to be all these people that kind of worked for him, some of whom knew and some of whom didn't. And that was actually really smart and a really neat idea. This isn't, but
this doesn't thing for a thing that's supposed to be a master of intelligence as an intelligence community. It's not very subtle. No. At least maybe it all becomes better in part 2.
Well, we don't know. I didn't know this was part 1 when I went to see it. I was like, gosh, how are they going to... It's been 2.5 hours. How are they going to... Oh, cripes. Okay, part 1, up yours.
Yeah, I don't like it when they don't really hit you with that. It was like with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Spoiler, it's also a part 1.
Yeah, and we're actually delayed even more on that one. Yeah.
The worst part is this was a really good movie.
Yeah. Well, he means Spider-Man, not this.
Yes, Spider-Man.
Necessarily, we might have changed our minds. Although Max had never seen it, I do love the fact that in this film, the exposition gets delivered. Apparently, the IMF has a pizza delivery service.
Yep.
And the guys, although it's not I don't think it's actually said in the film, the courier's last name is hyphenated. His last name is James Phelps.
Oh.
Yeah. So, look, it's a little cookie.
Good morning, mister. Yeah. Yeah, and what gets me is that the writing in this in general, the dialogue, is so ham-handed. Everything sounds like a 60s or 70s comic book. Someone literally says when they're looking at the magic key, the fate of the world depends on finding whatever it unlocks. Oh, come on!
And now by my hand shall perish a villain.
Yeah, pretty much.
Actually, the end splash page of, I think it was an Avengers comic, but
okay.
Well, and then not only do we get the exposition, And then we get the exposition of who Gabriel is, because he's important. It's like, well, we should tell you not only how important he is, but why he's important, because we're certainly not going to show it. Then we recap it, because the movie thinks we're dumb. They tell us again.
But by the way, this is why Ethan hates this person and has always hated this person, despite the fact no one has ever mentioned this before, ever in 27 years.
Spock's sister. Oh! Sorry.
Yeah. Or brother.
Yeah. We were here. I was there. That was 20 minutes ago. We know this.
Yeah,
Why
we remember.
Okay, that's fine. As usual, whenever there's world security, be it the Italian police force or whomever, they're idiots.
Yep. They can't hit the broadside of a barn.
Well, and
these guys shoot.
Those stupid guns for hire in the desert couldn't hit the sand.
These are the guys, as they say, he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat.
Yeah, just once. There's two things I want to see in a spy film or a heist film or something like that. One, security that's worth a damn. Two, vents the size of vents, i.e., well, if you've got a cat, it might get through there, but that's it. Not like, insert army here. Nobody does that. Nobody. Just, no. No. So, yeah. We don't know. Once Ethan goes running away, we don't know how his friends find him again, because they just do.
They somehow do. They can track him, despite the fact he's supposed to be impossible to track.
Yeah. We get an amazing car chase, which is the handcuffed thing. I swear we've seen this before, and I'm trying to think of where it was.
We have seen it a number of times. The two people are handcuffed together. Hell, this goes back to Sidney Poitier and Tony Curtis in The Defiant Ones.
Yeah. I mean, it's cute that he's in a Fiat 500 Cinquecento, but
that is kind of fun. And the car is rebelling.
Yeah, and I'm guessing it's supposed to be electric, which is the only way it would move that fast. Because I think Fiat 500s have something like 78 horsepower. Like they're running. Yeah, so,
I think an actual horse would be faster.
Well, so BMW pays a lot of money to get their cars in this film, only to be trounced by a Fiat 500. Also, it's a well-known fact. Now, I looked this up. It's actually true. They are indestructible. So you can roll them and everything, and you will not dent a Fiat 500. It's true, especially the yellow ones. No, it's true.
Sure.
Also, got to ask a question. When we're leaving that big rave in Venice, the super big rave, and everyone gets into fights, how come no one carries a gun?
It wouldn't be cool. Well, it is Italy, is it not?
Yes. Venice is in Italy. It has been for quite some time.
We might want to confirm that. If anyone out there has countering point,
if anyone else would like to co-host this show, someone with more geographical knowledge.
No one has more geographical knowledge than I.
What is it about Italy?
It looks like a boot.
Boot to the head.
Sorry. See, I know where it is now. Well, A, they have fairly strict gun laws, stricter than we have, and B, it would ruin the line of my suit. I think it's a fashion thing.
Sure. I mean,
well, come on, everyone knows how calm and pacifistic the Italians usually are.
They gesture violently with their hands.
Yes. Now, I don't know why everyone isn't bristling with firearms.
It would make things a lot quicker. There'd be a lot less, what's that verb? Oh, yes, running. There'd be a lot less running.
A lot less running, a lot less punching.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But, it's really sad when that woman we knew so much about dies.
Oh yeah, that was really...
That was,
when she, the woman who, her name was, it's sad,
she had long
it's so
hair.
sad. Yeah, she had long hair and some kind of accent.
Yes.
Didn't she have an accent? That really... I'm sorry, I'm tearing up right now.
Drip.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm getting verklempt.
And to be fair, Max and I don't remember if she's in another film, so maybe she played a bigger part. I don't bet on it. There's a moment I guess it's supposed to matter. Literally, though, the only two people I kind of really care about in this film are Simon Pegg and Ving Rhames.
Yeah, I really don't want anything to happen to them.
Yeah. I mean, Haley Atwell's fine. I kind of like her. Quite honestly, if Ethan Hunt were to kick it in the next film and she took over, I'd watch that.
Yeah, I'd see that.
Bets on that happening?
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
I love you so long. Okay, whatever. Now I did. We talked about the running and the stunting. The stunt's fine. It's a huge part at the end of the film.
Oh, yeah.
Why does he have to tell us how impossible it is before he does it? Do you think we don't see this? You're literally going to jump a motorcycle off a mountain in Norway, Austria.
Austrian Alps.
Yeah, it was totally...
And land...
on a moving train.
Parachute down and land on a moving train. At, by the way, the most useful moment he possibly could.
Yeah, and be okay. In fact, and he'll actually come through a window into the right car where a fight's taking place that he couldn't possibly have seen.
Feet first, shattering both his legs.
We also won't talk about how he came in from the wrong side of the train. But, well, he swung around, you see.
Stump.
Yeah, and all of this is going on, and the train is now, the controls are broken off. We won't talk about why it should already have gone over the rails at the curves, but then the dam burst, and the price of food skyrocketed.
Yeah, and then what happened?
And then Harley Quinn's a good guy now.
What?
Then she's dead.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we have this dumb thing where it's like, you have to do this alone, except these kids. Because, is he good?
Yeah. And there's even that moment where Gabriel realizes
I don't have the key.
Ethan took the MacGuffin from him, and he actually does a Darth Vader, Ethan!
Yeah.
And I will give this to Esai Morales. He really tries.
Yes.
He tries not to make it sound stupid. This is not a comment on his ability.
No.
It still sounds stupid. I'm sorry, Mr. Morales. I'm sorry. You did your best. Nobody could have pulled that off.
I'm going to use the word frank for the word that I don't have to bleep. But I would have, if it was me and that had happened, I literally would have just gone, Frank. And that would have been it. It wouldn't be, that doesn't happen. So that's what I'm going to be. But I complain, but it's an action film, and they are fun, and they are splody. So maybe I changed my mind, and Max, maybe after talking about it, he changed his mind, but there's only one way to find out, and that's to say...
The finish.
So Max!
Yeah.
You'd seen other films in this series, you liked one of them, the other one you don't remember. Good sign that. What did you think overall of this action-packed mammoth of a film, the first part of Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning?
I will never talk, and I'm going to bite down on the hollow tooth that I have with the cyanide capsule in it now.
Ooh, he's Harvey Bardemming all over the place.
Ow. I forgot, that's not a hollow tooth. Ow.
It is now.
Ow. Anyway, I didn't like it that much. I mean, there are a couple of good stunts, that's true, and a couple of fight scenes. But we've seen all this.
Yeah.
Even I've seen this, and just watching a couple of them, it's like, oh yeah, boom, kabam, climb, fall, run, punch.
Cry.
Yeah, punch, drink, cry.
That has to be a movie. We have to make that into a movie. Punch, drink, cry.
Punch, drink, cry.
It's the sequel to Eat, Pray, Love.
It's like... Oh, we got to get Julia Roberts for that.
Can we? Hey, Julie, if you're out there and would like to be on the show, just ask. We'd love to have you.
Come on. We'll totally let you on the show.
She listens every week.
Oh, yes, she does. Yes, and she comes and visits me in my solid gold house on the moon.
And I have the king crown so I can be king. Okay, anyway. So, yeah. Action-y.
Back to alleged reality. It was, honestly, it's one of those where I end up while looking at my watch. Like, really? Okay. Oh, look, another chick. Like, when they're on the train and they're trying to get out of the train and each car is falling off. And it's like, oh, wow, okay, that's kind of cool. Oh, we're going to do another one. Okay. How many cars are we going to do this? I think I have to go through 4.
Yeah.
And it's just they're throwing stuff at us to see what sticks. And honestly, it's I don't know. Maybe, again, I'm being harsh. Maybe if I had watched the entire series, and it creates more of a cohesive whole. this just seems a whole bunch of unconnected stunts. And a villain who the idea of which could be really interesting, and they do almost nothing with it. They're not talking, no one brings up at any point, this is an entirely new form of life. This is a non-human intelligence, the first genuine, allegedly, non-human sapient being. And we must control it. You might, you could see this as an ally. The implications of this on every level are enormous, and they're just like, oh no, it's an asset. Really?
See our entire I was gonna say, see our entire episode on her.
Yeah. But what about you? You saw this before?
I did.
First off, what did you think of it the first time you saw it?
I thought, well, at least I'm not home with no power and being really hot and sweating into my sofa.
Okay, kind of damning with faint praise.
Yeah.
What did you and now?
Well, I've got Tom Cruise issues. I am tired of Tom Cruise making films that just basically make him look great. And it's not a jealousy thing. I'm just tired of it. It's like he never loses and he never gets hurt. It's always Tom Cruise saves the world. And I'm tired of it. We've seen it. There is nothing new in this film. If you've watched Bond films, you've seen everything. Okay, sure. I jumped off a mountain on a motorcycle and I landed on a train. And I really did it and I'm Tom Cruise. Yay. I don't care. I don't care. If you are a fan of this series, my feeling is you probably loved this film because it has lots of action in it. And there's lots of stunts and there's, cool locations, just like Bond films have been doing since the 60s. And that's fine. If you're a Tom Cruise fan and enjoy this, this is fine. Hats off to him for being able to do this stuff at his age. I just wish he would evolve and do something different because we've seen him act. There's been parts where he actually does put something into the performance. This isn't one of them to me. And the movie, like you said, just keeps throwing action at us, hoping we won't ask questions. Like every time we get a chance to pause and breathe, the film throws another bomb in our face because it doesn't want us to go, wait, with this AI, why does it want anything? Why doesn't it just take its collective intelligence and go exist somewhere and not talk to anybody? Like what? There's nothing there. It's an evil eyeball. And it's not even that half the time. So, there's things like, why does nobody carry a gun? And, these people that die that we don't care about. There's nothing new here. And it's not exciting. The reason it would be interesting or exciting is if we gave a crap about anybody in it, and we don't.
Yeah. No.
I'm going to go back to our show in Cloverfield. What's Cloverfield? It's a Godzilla movie. We've seen this dozens of times before. But the film had a story that, though well-worn, was told well. And even though we didn't like the people because they're rich, whiny young people in New York, we still cared what happened about them when we have one character who at least realizes he's a schmuck and goes to try and save the person who should be his girlfriend. There's at least something redeeming them in there.
We believe in these people. We believe that they are actual human beings, not cutouts.
Yeah. And the only reason that I care about Ving Rhames and Simon Pegg is I like them.
Yeah. And they're fun.
Yeah. So
because that's the other thing about Hunt is most of the time, except he's painfully serious all the time. Once in a while, like with the Fiat, which feels oddly out of place when he's goofing around in the Fiat.
Yeah,
but
well, and he's playing a part that didn't exist in the original show. The original show, he's more or less playing the. Hello, I'm Mr. Phelps, and I went to the University of Michigan. Or Minnesota, sorry about that.
Michigan?
And all he does is choose people, and then we don't see him for the rest of the show. That's Peter Graves. Once or twice, I think he does participate, but he never runs around punching people. In fact, one of the things that was cool about the IMF, if they did their job, nobody knew they had been there.
Yeah, they were invisible.
Yeah. And part of the fun, especially the gadget fun, because of course the 60s was the height of spy gadgetry, was that they would come up with gadgets that would allow them to insert themselves into just about anything and then get out and nobody ever being the wiser. Or literally somebody standing there going, I think I was wearing pants a minute ago. Didn't I have pants?
Well,
I think I had pants.
It was subtler. It also had a smaller budget, but this subtlety doesn't come in here.
No. We have to.
This is a popcorn movie. This is,
Yeah.
You want to turn your brain off. Except they try. The thing is, you're supposed to pay attention because you're supposed to have this very complicated plot, which actually isn't that complicated.
No.
There's a thing and everybody wants it.
Yep.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. And a villain. Moohoo.
And the thing has its own agenda, okay, which we don't know, by the way.
Yeah. Well, if they had given the AI a mustache, that might have made it seem more evil.
And a white digital cat, I'm telling you.
Here's the thing about our show. Let's face it. Max and I have been around a bit, and we've seen a lot of movies, which can be a detriment to being a movie critic because we expect new things, whereas that's not necessarily the movie's obligation, right? This might be aimed at a younger audience, although Tom Cruise, I don't know. I still say, even if this is one of your first superhero action bad guy spy thriller movies, that you're going to come into this going, I don't really care about anybody. I like the explosions. Hey, wow, it's cool to see that BMW. I like that car. But I honestly think it's going to ring hollow whether you're a longtime movie fan or not. That's my feeling. If you disagree, you can contact us. Oh, how can you do that? And
speaking of which,
why would you do that? Well, because we have a poll question that you're going to want to answer, I'm just sure. We would like to know, what is your favorite performance by Tom Cruise? Or if you don't think he has a good performance in him, what's that? And how can you contact us? Well, the first thing you can do is call us at our hotline, 617-398-7266. That's 617-398-7266. Let us know. Give us a little message. We will play it on the air, as you have heard. You can also email us directly at maxmikemovie.com. maxmikemovies.com. It's not like I haven't said that before. And let us know, did you like the poll question? What's your answer? Did you like the show? Did you not like the show? Did you think we should look at things a different way? Whatever you have to say, email us. We'd love to hear it. You can also go to our website, maxmikemovies.com, leave a comment there, one way or the other, or Facebook, where we are, of course, Max Mike Movies. Lastly, if you like to listen to podcasts, which I hope you do because you are right now, you can find us on any one of those podcast apps you choose. Does not matter, including YouTube, where we actually got a few comments lately. So
we did.
Yeah, some of the folks who've listened to the show, to be fair with the comments, it's a little hard for us to go back for some of them and bring them back up, but we do read them and we do appreciate them. So
we do,
by all means. Much. But, Max, we've given films one more chance for the next to last time, because next week is the last episode in this series.
Yes, it is.
How you going to wrap this all up, my main man?
Word.
To my mother?
We are very down with the street here at Max Mike Movies.
Yeah, down with the street.
Down with the street. Sesame Street, maybe. But we are going to finish out with what I believe is the last movie in a series that I liked. And it was part of what was called the Marvel Renaissance.
Marvel Renaissance?
That was starring Thor!
Thor? The God of Thunder?
Yes! God of Bikers! Sorry, Thunder. Thunder, yes. God of Thunder. But you know what? Thunder isn't enough for this last movie.
It isn't.
You've got to have love and thunder.
They're cops.
And yeah, that's it. Love and thunder. They're cops. Well, almost. So we are going to finish out with Thor, I guess, Thor 4, or Sore Thor.
4.
Thor 4. Thor, Blood, and Thunder.
I thought it was Love and Thunder.
It should have been Blood and Thunder, but yes, Thor, Love, and Thunder.
So tune in next week to see if Max remembers the name of the title of the movie that we're supposed to watch.
This has been a co-production of The Voice of Max and The Movie Wrench.